All right, welcome to another day of Be Agile Scrum. If you can hear me well, just unmute yourself and say yes.
Yes.
Thank you for quick confirmation. Let's get started from the quick review of the reminder. That's the guideline for you, on which we have agreed together. Let me share my screen. As you know that Agile is full of ceremonies, and every ceremony want you to show up live and be on time, remain punctual, and remain highly committed. And in case you don't have these traits, you can consider this training itself as a project and continue to practice this. And it is also said that how you do anything is how you do everything. Once you consider in that way, and you will find yourself eventually you will attain these traits. And many of you coming despite from the vast experiences chose to learn, and that makes you student. But we want you to be full stack students who do all the assignments, do self research, and repeat what they learn. And once you do that, you finish what you start, you hit the success, and you can take the full responsibility of that. And in case you don't finish, you may hit back to the failure, realizing that when you acknowledge it, you can embrace it, you can accept it, and thereby you can go back and correct it. And then you will realize again that failure was not a failure, that became trail to the success. But to do so, it really requires a concrete mindset. The very first one is inspired from Lean Kaizen that says continuous improvement. And for that, you must inculcate the learning mindset. More learning minded, you will become positive minded. More positive minded, you will become complaint free in a way that you can deliver any project with a stringent timeline. And despite the lack of resources, and more you can do that, you will find yourself growing with more gratitude that leads to the highest level of productivity. And for that, you need to start your day with the highest level of receptivity. And for very reason, I have recommended for you to participate in 30 days challenge. What is this 30 days challenge all about? You can definitely listen this in more detail in day one's recording, and ask me that sending the message 30 DC, why you need to send me message, send 30 DC in DM, because this is the recommendation, not the mandate. Why recommendation? Because it has benefited many of my students, and I want you all to be uh, taking the benefit out of it. Second, because we are taking a deep dive into deep learning, always follow any new learning to any learning to be used through golden quadrant of learning that comes with the 4 step. The very first one, declaration with the anchor, and then learning is the second. So we are going to do first and second step over here. Then you go back, and after 24 hours, draw whatever you have learned on a piece of paper. And how you can draw that, you can simply use these methods to scribble, or you choose your own way to draw it. And then once you have drawn, flaunt it back in a summary form, or sending back a WhatsApp video summarizing whatever you have learned in a way that even 5 years old can understand in less than 3 minutes of video, or minimum 90 seconds of a video. It should be simplified in that manner. So let's start with the first and second over here. So what we are going to do is that we will be putting anchor first, and then we'll declare the statement. So what will be the anchor? I'll be counting 1, 2, 3, and clap. That's the self high five. You're going to model this. Then I'm going to read the selected statement on your screen that you see. So unmute yourself and say yes if you all can see the selected statement on your screen.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So let's model me. 1, 2, 3, and clap, and repeat after me. I'm a quick learner.
I'm a quick
I'm a
learner.
quick learner.
What others can learn and master,
What others
What
can
others
learn
can
and
learn
master,
faster,
I too can do that.
I
I
too
too
can do
can
that.
do that.
One more time with the second statement. 1, 2, 3, and clap, and repeat. Because I'm a quick learner.
Because I'm a quick
Because I'm a
learner.
quick learner.
Today's learning is going to be
Today's
Today's
learning is
learning
going
is
to
going
be
to be
super duper easy to me.
super
super
duper
duper
easy
easy
to
to
me.
me.
Yes, it is going to be because you said so. And remember, on this path, you also need to be a giver because this is most applicable for those who are already having the vast experience in the subject what we are learning. So keeping ego away on the path of learning, that makes you more spiritually grounded. When I say spiritually grounded, it means your happiness level increases, and happiness is today's new productivity, and that's the demand of the corporate. And it is also said that you are not just here to learn but to earn more, and to gain more you need to start giving away the portion of that. So what you want more of, you must start giving away the portion of that. And in case you are already earning, you can think of giving away the 5% or 10% of your portion of your earning to the causes wherever you believe in. In case you are not earning, can you have the intention that you will give away the 5% of or 10% of your earning once you get placed? So in whatever the causes you believe in, the causes could be donating into uh, old age home or feeding hungry children or orphanages donation or donating into temple, churches, mosque, gurudwara. Why? Because once when you give you grow, when you receive you may survive. And while you do so, remember to appreciate what you do, what others do for you, and even it does not sound that initially it is helping you out, continue to do so, because this is also universal law that says that what you appreciate appreciates you back. And the days how we are going to remain connected, every Sunday we meet for the tech session at 10 p.m. Monday again at 10 p.m. for the tech session. Tuesday, you must attend the RRP session, which is the gateway of your placement, and not only just Tuesday's RRP, but also Thursday's RRPs. Both are important because it strengthens your visibility, credibility, and thereby your marketability. And Wednesday, you need to do the assignment from the learning of Sunday, be it said or unsaid. Friday, you do the assignment from the learning of Monday, and Saturday, you can choose to relax, have a breather day, or do the research work, or repeat whatever you have learned, or prepare any question that you want the answer on the next technical session that is on Sunday. So just unmute yourself and say yes if you all understand these entire six code of honor plus the days we are going to connect on. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. So let's get started with the topic from where we had left. We had entered to learn all about the roles. We were entering to know what all the roles are available when it comes to Scrum team. So let me share my screen. All right. Yesterday we touched this topic, what all the team members are here. Today we will be looking at the various other topics. Okay. Topics as in what are the main role of Scrum Master, product owner, Scrum team in this deck. Okay. So I want someone to read this right side card of product owner for me, please.
Conveys the vision of the stakeholders to the team, can
Good.
alter the scope, responsible for the return on investment. That is why they occupy an authoritative position in the firm, not only with the team, but also communicates with the stakeholders about progress and problems.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. Yeah. So now product owner is a crucial role in the Scrum team. And this Scrum role, which is of product owner, is a bridge between multiple parties, especially when it comes to stakeholders. Stakeholders may involve those people who have gotten the highest stakes, starting from customer, vendors. So he has to make sure, the product owner, he or she has to make sure that entire team working together on one project having the same vision. Okay, having the same vision that will lead them towards the timely accomplishment of the project. Okay. And that will be only possible when the vision is translated well, understood well, everyone involved in the project. Product owner will have the rights who can alter the scope of the project. But of course, he doesn't go ahead by himself or herself uh, and decide its own to change the scope. But of course, it is whether it is a guideline from the stakeholder, from the customer, uh, due to certain circumstances on which customer has agreed to alter the scope, and then customer um, reaches to product owner seeking this request, and then only it gets translated into decision, so that the scope of any project or product gets changed. Okay. And when it comes to return of investment to gain, excuse me. Yeah, sorry. So when it comes to return on investment, uh, product owner is the authoritative person who will make sure and who will be responsible that this gain is in a timely fashion. Okay. And this position means product owner has to communicate frequently all the progresses or any hindrance or any problem or any risk he or she foresees for the project or product whenever it gets detected. Okay. And it is not that once it gets detected and we will resolve it first and then it will be communicated. No, the complete transparency is the law, and based on that he has to communicate with the entire stakeholder. Now this becomes the responsibility for the product owner. You can perceive this position as a mediator, okay, between the team and the customer, between team and vendors. Okay. He is the or she is the uh, product owner is the crucial role for that. Let's understand now about the role of the scrum master. I would like to invite someone else now to read this card for me.
Scrum Master
Remove all
impediment and hindrance to achieve goals, enforce to organize Scrum ceremonies and processes, to commit to goals and deadlines on behalf of the team.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. Now, before I proceed further talking about Scrum Master role, you remember yesterday I gave and I used one more term for the Scrum Master, uh, which is widely used when it comes to, because Scrum Master is leader. But what kind of specific leader I use the word for Scrum Master? Who remember that?
Servant leader.
Absolutely right. Servant leader. So now here you are getting more clarity why he will be servant leader. Although I mentioned why, but still here the main position or main goal for Scrum Master's position is that he will make sure that none of the team members are having any kind of interruption, hindrances, or any impediment. In case at all it exists, Scrum Master's main goal is to remove them as soon as possible. Okay. He will make sure that being a facilitator, every single person involved in the Scrum project, all the Scrum practices, agile practices, or Scrum guidelines are being followed by the team member in every ceremonies and in every processes. Okay. He will be knowing everyone is where and what they are doing, what the team member is facing, how it is impacting the deadline, how it is impacting the upcoming goal or upcoming task. Now you tell me how Scrum Master will be more vigilant about it, how he will get to know.
Attending the conducting the ceremonies, the
Okay.
daily
Go ahead. attending the ceremonies. After that, what you were saying?
Daily scrums, the stand-up meeting.
Yeah, daily scrum is the one of the ceremonies where he gets to know all such details from their team members, because every team member is responsible to share these all details. And because this is also called as sync up call, what it is called as?
Think of
Singapore.
Yeah. So he will make sure, or she will make sure, this scrum master position, that everyone's update is helping the project to move further. Okay, it is not stopping the flow, and in case it is stopping the flow, why it is stopping, he go deeper into that, and thereby he gets to know from the team member itself about any impediments or any risk or any hindrances. With me so far? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the minimum role from the Scrum Master. And when I am asking question, I ask to all of you. So, and with this note, I just want to share one more thing. I want all of you to remain unmuted as long as you are contributing into the class and you are actively participating, because those who learn more, who are those people who learn more, okay, who gain more, those who interact more, those who participate more, they are supposed to gain more. And those who are passively just learning, trust me, they will just not get even exist sometime, in case you are learning for the first time. Okay, so yeah, and this has been proven in every kind of a learning. So that's the reason I would recommend you to participate in the class. But due to some reason, you need to participate into the home or from wherever you are connecting, you remain muted. Okay, that you can do. So now, after you know the product owner role, Scrum Master role, you see here the gentleman product owner and the Scrum Master. Now let's talk about the Scrum team. Okay, so what we can expect from these role, Scrum team role. So what they are bringing on the table. So let's learn in this card. So can someone read this for me? This card for
Yes,
please.
judge all that lead them towards their sprint goal. Work with the Scrum Master to prioritize the item from the product backlog in the sprint planning. Not Scrum Master organize them, it is just self-organized. Need to attend every stand-up at the other ceremony. They have to participate in all the meetings despite their nature and have to ensure that all the findings of the meetings are getting practically addressed in the project.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. Yeah. So first of all, the team, when we say, so this is the self-organized team. Okay. Although it sounds like self-organized, it doesn't, and it, it does not hold the right that, when Scrum Master is the facilitator, he will only organize the team, he will be guiding the team. No, we choose, the product owner chooses the kind of a capable team who can organize themselves, who are self accountable for their own work. Okay, so that's the reason, you being a team member also, you need to make sure that you are very self organized, and based on that, the Scrum team is responsible to attend every stand up and every other ceremonies, because in certain ceremonies product owner can go optional, but the Scrum team, this happens only for the Scrum team, all the entire ceremonies. And that's the reason Scrum team members are considered mandatory and integral part of such ceremonies, because without them this cannot happen. Okay. uh when we say that Scrum team has to attend every single ceremonies, we need to also remember that despite you participate in all these meetings, uh, whatever you are finding as a problem or any impediment to which we call it, you need to declare in every single meeting, because if you are facing any obstacle, that has to be addressed immediately. So as a Scrum team member, it is your responsibility to talk about it, being vocal about it, and get it sorted as soon as possible. You can't just keep it with you for longer term thinking that you will seek the solution later, or you will crack the code later, or you will bring the solution on the table later. For that, just you need to find time. No, the moment you sniff the problem arising, you need to just say that, okay, I'm still working on finding the solution, but as of now, I have faced this. So with this, the awareness on how things are moving will become more evident. Okay, and everyone will be aware, and accordingly things will further synced up. Okay, when I say synced up, it means that the flow will remain on the track, and in case with the decided time frame, in case the obstacle is not addressed or it has not been sorted, then the team force and the scrum master will work in that direction to bring the solution on the table as well. Okay, so also you need to remember that you need to work very closely with the scrum master, so that the items on which you are working uh, from the sprint product backlog, last day, if you remember, I gave the example with the bread loaf yesterday itself, I believe, that how from product backlog we take in the planning meeting and prioritize every item on which you need to work. So while it has been prioritized, still you are closely working and uh, sharing the flow, or sharing all about the movement of those product backlog items. Okay, when I say product backlog items, there is a abbreviation, there is a acronym for that, and this is called as PBI. What it is called as, everyone?
PBI.
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 Yeah, that's right. So with this, in this, you understood the entire role. But when it comes to this gray area, grayed out person, can someone tell me to whom it denotes to? Which role it could be? Because here we saw product owner, here we see scrum master, and then scrum team. Who this will be standing then? Any idea, guys? Please guess. And when you
Business analyst,
guess, yeah, please go ahead. Can you speak one more time?
business analyst,
Business analyst. Okay. Who else?
Project
Customer.
manager,
Come again. What you said?
project manager,
Project manager. But I heard something else.
Customer.
No.
Customer.
Customer.
Yes, you are right. Customer, and also known as this. What do you read? Okay. Also known as this. And what do you read?
Stakeholders.
Stakeholder.
stakeholders.
Okay. So I want to invite someone to read this card as well for stakeholders.
The stakeholder has to keep a healthy relationship with the product owner in order to share every detail regarding his project. The stakeholder is responsible for conveying his wishes and concerns to the product owner, or else the product owner would not be responsible for his project quality and time duration. The stakeholder has to provide regular input to queries from the product owner. Prioritizing the work effectively with the product owner is another job that the stakeholder has to do to ensure his project development. Keep taking updates or keep giving updates regarding any change in the plans.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. First, we need to understand this slide when it reads as a stakeholders, and when you read all the details, everyone, you need to understand this is more dedicated towards customer. Towards whom, everyone?
Customer.
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 customers,
Why it is dedicated more towards customer? Because customer has gotten the highest stake into the project. That's the reason. However, beside customers, there are more stakeholders. The moment we call this word stakeholders, it simply means what? As the word suggests, the stakes, people who holds the stakes. Okay, and whatever the project are becoming the stakeholders. Now, they are not just the shareholder, but also they are sometimes sponsors. Okay, because they are putting their money in for the customer. Also, sometimes they are customer. Also, beside customer, they are vendors because they have gotten the stakes, and the people who are closely working with them. Okay, so everyone is the stakeholders. However, when it comes to the customer, so it is up to them because they have to make sure, because they are asking certain works to be done. In a nutshell, if you'll ask, you are giving your dream in someone's hand. And for many uh, who grow with their dreams, okay, who raise their dreams just like a baby, and when they hand it over to someone, it becomes quite crucial part. And that's the reason you will find such people are more concerned about their project or their dream, okay, and want update every single time. Imagine you as a parent sending your kid to any boarding school away from you, okay, how frequent you feel like talking to your kid every single day, every single time, okay, you feel like you should be getting the update again and again. But again, due to certain guidelines, you are supposed to get remain connected with your kid during certain time frame. Likewise, even though stakeholder wants to know each and everything, but just because he wants to know each and everything at any point of time, it may not happen that he will get to know about it. But they decide the frequency, okay, and what frequency they will be shared with the update. And for that, they need to maintain really healthy relationship with the product owner, because this is the product owner who will be acting as a bridge, okay, between the project delivery creator as well as the stakeholder as well as the customer. So for that very reason, excuse me. Yeah. So for that very reason, stakeholder is supposed to extract all the details and share back with the customer. And the stakeholder needs to keep informing to product owner every single time what they feel like having when it comes to their wishes and what they are more worried about, because sometime it may happen certain thing they might have asked, but later they may realize its repercussion based on the environment or new taxation or any new changes by government is happening due to legalization and due to various other reason, okay. They need to keep communicating with the product owner, because product owner is not going to get any dream that what the customer all of a sudden started realizing and feeling concerned about, okay. And that's the reason stakeholder has to continue to give every single input possible and solution of every single query coming from the product owner. With me so far, everyone? Are you able to connect, relate, understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Thank you for confirmation. They will also make sure that every single work which is being done by product owner or coming from the product owner or what product owner is bringing on the table uh, is well prioritized and well planned, so that the timely delivery will be always ensured, okay. And any other update or giving any updates regarding any change, any plan is the critical responsibility of the stakeholder, or say the critical responsibility of the customer, okay. So these are the bare minimum expectation from the role of the stakeholders. Now, as a future product owner, you are well aware that what you can expect from the stakeholder, and that's the reason you don't ever has to hesitate asking certain question to the stakeholder and expecting the responses from them. Now, uh, coming back to this element of business analyst, because this is the combo course, I want to highlight certain thing. Because with the product owner, now you tell me, you have seen the four roles, okay? We have covered product owner, scrum master, scrum team, and stakeholders. You tell me, business analyst will be part of which team?
Scrum team.
Scrum team.
Absolutely
Scrum
right.
team.
Scrum team. But still, business analyst is a leader. In fact, everyone is a leader, but he has gotten the highest level of responsibility, and he has got also the authority to speak to customer directly. He or she is in this position that they need or they can interact with the customer on the frequent basis, because that is the that is the bare minimum expectation from customer as well. Because with product owner, this role, business analyst, are the person who accompanies product owner and help the entire team to document the requirement that they are going to gather from the stakeholders. Okay, and while they gather it, uh, you know, uh, these are the people who can also place certain question. Bless you. So place certain question to the customer, because the solution is going to come from them, and they will be making sure that any such details or updates which it is going to come from them. Business analysts are directly communicating to the product owner as well. What kind of such things may come up and they need to convey to the product owner? Say for example, at any point of time, stakeholders are requesting certain things which were not the part of the plan. Okay, and all of sudden in the conversation with you, stakeholders shares the concern or new request that they are looking for certain more inclusion in the project. As a business analyst, what should you be doing when they approaches you, ask you to do certain changes and demand some new feature to be added? Okay, they said that, okay, I might have forgotten, but when we talk about this, I want you to also include this feature, so please take a note of it. Business analyst will take a note of it. But uh, what should be the next step from business analyst?
Communicate to the product team, run it with them, get
Okay,
estimates.
okay, that's number one. What else?
He should
What do you think?
do the financial analysis or not that time?
No,
That
question
is
I am
part
asking
two.
right now, Amit. So I want
Yeah.
to know, yeah, business analyst should do what? So one answer I have gotten, that he should be communicating with the team and get the estimate on that. That's the first step he should be doing. But I am also looking for the other answer. So other answer you gave me, whether he should be doing the financial analysis or not,
Yes, he
and
should do the financial.
Feasibility
that
analysis, basically.
Jisha, can you come again? What you said?
Feasibility analysis.
Feasibility analysis he will be doing. Okay. The very first thing, the moment business analysts get to know about new inclusion request, what he should be doing? That's my question.
Change request. Raise a ticket.
Change request, raise a ticket, because this is the ongoing project. Okay. In this ongoing project, there are multiple backlog items are already there,
Yes,
which has
Mm.
not been completed yet, and the new inclusion request has come.
It
So
can be
for
an
that,
enhancement.
okay, for that I
time box.
have,
I think he
okay,
has to
time.
analysis the time box also.
Okay, what else? What else?
Prioritize the requirement.
Okay.
Very
See, let me reiterate what asked. I asked that this conversation is just between business analyst and the customer. No one else is there. Not the Scrum team, not the product owner, not the Scrum master. None of them are Scrum Master as well. Sorry, this conversation is just between business analyst and the customer. So, what he should be doing? The
So
first
first,
step.
Scrum
First
meeting.
point of contact should be product owner. That's the first
Okay.
person he should reach out even
Okay.
before going to the team. Because
Okay.
I think
So
with his approval, can he actually tickle down the requirements to further product backlog or anywhere else?
okay. Okay, Jisha. And how many of you agree with this? What Jisha said? Because product owner has to know about it.
I agree.
I agree.
100%
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. And we do we all have to agree what Jisha said. Yes, absolutely right, Jisha. Any such changes requested by customer has to be communicated first with the product owner. Then only whatever you said, this analysis, that analysis, estimation, enhancement, change request, everything is the secondary part. Okay, because until product owner is not informed about it, you can't initiate the work regarding that. Okay, just inform product owner about it. Leave now everything with the product owner and let it come into the very formal way. It should be the written request, it should be a right request. It should not be going like, okay, just because it was asked and it has been produced, there will be a big loss. There could be the loss of but loss of revenue, there could be loss of effort, there could be loss of planning. Entire thing may get disturbed. Just to avoid that, the flow says, or the guideline says, that the moment customer comes up with such request, has to be communicated with the product owner first, and product owner will be deciding that when it has to be considered to talk about, and when it will not be entertained at all. Because customer is the person can ask anytime anything, stars and moons too. Okay, not every single time you can fulfill his or her requirement, because there is a certain way to fulfill the requirement. Okay, now going back to the similar example of, you have sent out your you know kiddo into boarding school. Okay, and he demands certain thing, that he needs to connect back to his parents or her parents. Okay, and okay, demanding anything is not bad, but fulfilling the demanding has to be strategic. Okay, and has to come with the complete plan. With me so far? Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. uh, if you will spoil the customer, with the fulfilling every single demand every single time, the entire plan will get spoiled, entire project will get spoiled. So you need to be very cautious in bringing the fulfillment of the customer's requirement then and there. As a business analyst, just because you're a business analyst, there should be a process which every single person has to follow. Now, business analyst was just an example. Okay, now the biggest role comes into does in the hand of designers, and designer can give you or give the customer, in case sometime what happens, some kind of a work as such work which can be done by the business analyst by themselves. In certain way, they are developer, designer. Okay, um because some feature they know, they develop, because there are some tool using that. As a business analyst, they create a prototype and present back to the customer, and that is the time even developers or designers, apart from business analyst comes in contact of customer. Customer may directly talk to these developers, and may raise certain requests, because now he understood that it won't take much time to fix or introduce certain feature. Okay, because it takes a very less time, and then it can be done immediately, and customer can immediately request whether it can be done or not. And the moment developer answers, okay, it is doable and it won't take much time. So as a team member or as a developer, what do you think he should be doing? How long he should be doing to fix this issue, even it takes 1 hour or not more than 1 hour? What his another take should be? Who can answer this? I hope you have understood. Now imagine in place of business analyst is a developer. He can fix the thing which has been asked by customer to do as a new enhancement or new feature introduction, because it takes just less than an hour or so. Customer requests him to go ahead and do it because he knows that, and just he says that, okay, I'll take care of next step. You come ahead and you do this for me and just send out us email the moment it is done. The rest all necessary part I will take care of it. So what you expect from customer as a team member, and what, or as a learner or as an agilist, what you expect from customer as well as from developer after this conversation?
I would expect a formal approval process. Even though it has been agreed probably in a meeting, there has to be points that is put down in a more formal email or something and goes through the approval of the product owner and Scrum Master before any changes are actually made in the development environment, even though it's just 2 hours work.
That's a brilliant answer, Jisha, and
Yes.
that's right. Yeah. So yes,
I
any
think
such
every request we have to route it through product owner only.
absolutely right, Amit. You are absolutely right. Yes. So any such thing, see, it can be tricky, it can be tweaked as well, but be mindful how it is coming up, how you are taking ahead, because sometime it may happen as a team member. You feel like, okay, this is not really that impactful. Let's go ahead, do it, and this will just add value. Because when it comes to values and principles, sometime you can be, you can be, manipulated in that term, so that as a team member and without informing product owner, any task cannot be done. Okay, so you have to inform and keep product owner in the loop. So Saundarya, did you have any question? I saw that you had raised your hand.
No, I was about to answer the question.
Okay, okay.
No, that was
The-
my answer too. Yeah.
Okay, okay, great to know about it. So yeah, so this was all about the stakeholders. So before I proceed further, let me ask Prerna if she is ready and can take the next slide. Prerna, can you take the next
Yes,
slide,
yes,
please?
Gaurav, I'm available. Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Sure.
So over to you, Prerna.
So, guys, we learned about what is stakeholder and in detail. So let us understand what are the Scrum events that we have in detail. So, can everybody see this image shown on the screen? Is it visible for all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I request different people to read out the events mentioned on the screen from left hand side, like starting with product backlog, release planning. Yeah, go one by one. Then we can go in detail.
Release planning, product backlog.
Next person, please. Thank you.
Sprint planning,
Sprint
And
backlog,
backlog.
Yeah, sprint planning, sprint backlog. Next.
daily scrum 1 to 4 weeks.
Perfect.
Sprint review.
Sprint review. And the last one is
Sprint retrospective, potentially shippable product increment.
perfect. Perfect. Now, this is a very important diagram and a very elaborated and easy to, I would say, explain one. So I'll request you to take a picture of this diagram. So you will always have it as a reference ready when it comes to explanation. Yeah. So go ahead and take a screenshot or take a picture, whatever suits for you. Because if you remember this diagram well, you will be able to explain the Scrum events in detail without missing any important point. Okay. Okay. Now let us understand each and every step in detail. On the left hand side, we can see product backlog. So product backlog is like your metadata. It's like the I would say set of all the or entire requirements that we need to work on. And from that, we get a subset. From that, we get a smaller set, which is called as sprint backlog. Okay. So it's like from, I would say, if we have 100 requirements in product backlog, for each sprint, maybe we take out 10 requirements. Those become our sprint backlog. Okay. Easy to understand. So what we do is, when we do the sprint planning, that time we actually discuss on which are requirements or items we need to work on in the existing or current sprint. Okay, so that is why it's mentioned in the sprint planning, that in the sprint planning event, all the sprint backlog that we need to work on in the current sprint, that is discussed and that is decided. Easy? Any doubt in this? What happens? We will go in super detail in next slides, but as of now, just for the understanding purpose, let us go with the diagram. Okay. Next, I would say event is daily scrum. So daily scrum is also called as a stand-up meeting. Stand-up meeting means, does anyone have any idea about what is a stand-up meeting, guys? Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain or elaborate in your words?
So stand-up meeting, basically, like we discuss what has been done yesterday, what is the update, what is the plan for today, and if any
Sorry?
problem,
Yeah, can you please repeat? Your voice is little low.
okay, I'm saying that stand-up meetings that we take an update of yesterday, what has been done, plan for the future, and plan for tomorrow or today, and if any problems are there, then that can be discussed.
Yes, I'll tell you. Thank you for explaining. I'll tell you in simple words. It actually explains what we did in earlier 8 hours. What are we planning to do in next 8 hours? And in case if there are any impediments, any problems, any doubts, we can discuss that in this board. Okay. So it's generally, instead of saying yesterday, tomorrow, we can always say earlier 8 hours and next 8. Okay. That will be a right way to say this. And also, sorry.
Prerna, your voice is breaking.
Yes,
Could you
yes.
repeat it again, please?
Yeah, I'll repeat. So instead of saying yesterday and today, the right term would be what we had worked on earlier 8 hours. What are we planning to work on next 8 hours? Yeah. So what did we work on earlier 8 hours? What are we planning to work in the next 8 hours? And in case if there are any impediments or any doubts, we can discuss on that. Okay. So instead of, I was just mentioning, instead of using the terminology yesterday and today, we can stick to the 8 hours, a term, which is the appropriate one. And also the main feature or highlight of this meeting is, in this meeting, everybody actually stands up. So this is not a meeting that we take in a conference room. In this meeting, everybody comes in and they, stand, or even if you can take this meeting from your own desk, if everybody sits in the same location. And that's why it's supposed to be a very quick meeting, because everyone is physically standing in the meeting. You always remember. And in this meeting, we don't go in too much detail. We just highlight what everybody is working on. And in case you have any doubts, because why we discuss about the doubts or questions, because some of the, in case imagine like a development team, developer is facing some problem. So there can be a scenario that other team members, like, architect or senior team member, would have faced that problem earlier. So they might have a solution for that. So that's why we just share what is the issue. And then if somebody is aware of that problem, they know the solution, they can take it offline. Okay. So it's a very quick and very effective meeting. And it happens daily. Always remember this. That's why it's called as daily scrum or daily stand-up meeting. A scrum can be of 1 to 4 weeks, depending on the length or the timelines, we as a team decide. So it can be as small as 1 week. But to be very honest, 1 week is a very, very short duration. It's basically 5 days. And if we consider 8 hours, so it's basically only 40 hours of work. So that's quite a very, I would say, short period. So generally, as per my personal experience, the sprint is generally plan for 2 weeks or at least 4 weeks. 4 weeks is like a month. So you get like 20 working days. And in 2 weeks, you get 10 working days. Okay. We don't include Saturday, Sundays. So that can be the duration of the sprint. Okay. 1 to 4 weeks, preferably 2 weeks or 4 weeks. But, as a duration, we have this much flexibility. So next we come to the after the completion of the sprint, after the development of the sprint, comes the important event as a sprint review. Okay. So what does the word review suggest in your mind or ring bells about when we say review? Anyone? Sorry.
Check.
Checking the
Okay. Right. You're quite right. Yes. And anybody wants to add?
To check and get the feedback.
Yes, that's actually a right word. So review means, or this event basically it's focused on all the work that we complete in the sprint. It should be your sprint goal. It should be like everything, every work item that we plan for this sprint. All that we kind of showcase or display or present to the stakeholders, out of which a customer or client being the topmost. Like, we can have all other stakeholders, as Gaurav was explaining about stakeholders. So we can have our third party vendors coming in. We can have our senior management people coming in. Everybody would be there. But then the main highlight, or I would say addressing people or team, would be your customer or client, because ultimately we are giving them the delivery. So we can show, and this is a event, by the way, wherein we highlight our work, that okay, we achieved this much. There was some technical complexity, but still we overcame it, and things like that. So this event is very important, wherein we are given an opportunity to highlight our work and uh, kind of showcase our positive points, okay, to the stakeholders, primarily to the customer. So this is called as a sprint review. And the last but not the least event of this entire Scrum cycle is, or the Scrum phases, event is sprint retrospective. Okay. So does anyone know the meaning of word retrospective, and can you say in your own words? What does it mean when we say retrospect or retrospective?
Post
Look
event,
back.
Sorry?
something retrospective meeting happens after the sprint has been carried. I mean the post sprint review, basically when the sprint has been delivered, the review that happens after that. In
Okay, but then,
retrospection, what we did, what we could have done better, and what we plan to do, and not repeat
oh,
our mistakes.
that's a really nice way to say it. Definitely right.
Thank you.
Absolutely on point. So retrospective, as the word suggests, we kind of go within. We talk to ourselves to understand what we have done better. Like, if we have achieved sprint goal, then kudos to us as a team that we completed the work. But then what we could have done better, we should have you know missed some of the, I would say, cleared some of the doubts earlier, or if there was any technical challenge, how we can sharpen our skills, or we can train ourselves better in some of the technologies that might help, or how we can understand the requirements better. So it's basically a learning and understanding event for yourself, by yourself. Nobody would come out and tell you that, okay, you did this wrong. We as a team has to come up with all the points, that what were our strength, what where our weaknesses during this execution, what we could improve and do better. So all these things we tend to discuss in this meeting. See, why this meeting or why this event is so important is because it kind of helps us to perform better, to do further better. So that's why this is this event has been added, and it's one of the crucial events, sprint retrospective, where we ultimately realize that, okay, this is what we have achieved, and this is what we could have done away with, or we could do better, and then ultimately we can discuss on our delivery. And the outcome, or the final I would say product or final result of this entire process is, especially the execution one, like 1 to 4 weeks you're working in a sprint, is called as potentially shippable product increment. I'll break it down for you. So potentially shippable means it can be carried over, it can be delivered to the customer. Product means anything, a website, an application, anything that we are working on. And increment means, as we know, sorry, as we know that in every sprint we work on the next I would say a next set of requirements or upcoming set of requirements. So that's like an increment. It's we are going again and again in the same ground, and same circle or same events, and we are completing the next chunk or next I would say increment. So increment means we are just going ahead and ahead and completing everything one by one by one. So in this sprint we completed 10 requirements. So this will be a part of what will be the next increment. It will be another set of next 10 requirements. Okay. So basically, whatever product that, if you are working on a website or a mobile application, so whatever you have developed on, you have worked on, that can be delivered to the customer. That's why it is called as potentially shippable product increment. Okay. Now, I would suggest that we can go into next screen and understand more in detail. There will be a lot of theory again. And then, I'll check with you guys if you have any doubts. I know this is just a diagram without any theory, but it's a wonderful and very easy to understand diagram. There will be more diagrams definitely, but this is one wherein, if you just understand this diagram, you can talk on it, I would say, for decent 1 to 2 minutes in detail without needing any help. That's why we focus so much of time on this. Yeah, Gaurav, we can go to next slide, please. Okay. Now let us understand in detail. Now we've explained everything, all the ceremonies. Let us go through it in detail. What are their purposes, who attends it, and what are the tips and tricks associated with it? Okay. I will request one person to read out the entire details, starting with ceremony, sprint planning, purpose, and then the detail, attendees, and then the detail, and go on. Okay. So please go ahead. One person, all the details.
Sprint planning. Purpose: create the sprint backlog and identify the sprint goal that the entire Scrum team is committing to over the course of the sprint. Attendees: the entire Scrum team. Tips and tricks: encourage the team to discuss and negotiate each item related to the sprint goal. Sketching can be helpful. Ensure the product backlog has been ordered and completed by the product owner before sprint planning begins. Once the sprint goal is set, it can be broken by the product owner but should remain relevant throughout the course of the sprint.
Thank you so much for reading it out. So basically, what it means is the purpose of this ceremony is creating the sprint backlog that we learned. Okay, we took out the work items or requirements from the product backlog and we create a sprint backlog and identify the sprint goal. So that means for this particular sprint, which are the work items or what is the functionality that we need to deliver. Now, that is our sprint goal. Always remember, and we always strive or always work towards completing the sprint goal that needs to be completed over this sprint. Attendees here, as we can see, everyone, like entire Scrum team, starting from the product owner to the Scrum master to the development team, and even if if in case any generally the other stakeholders are not available, but uh, as a mandate, entire team has to be present. See, because in this team, we plan that what all work items, what all, what is the goal, what are the requirements that we need to complete. So it is beneficial and it is helpful that everyone, especially development team members, along with the seniors, has to be present, because ultimately they are the people who will be working and who will be executing. So their opinion, their agreement is quite important. Tips and tricks, what we say is we need to encourage the team to discuss, and sketching can be important. Sketching is one of the way, how we draw sketches. In same manner, sketching is one of the way where we can do the discussion, wherein one person can give some idea, we can write it down, and from that idea we can have a related thoughts or related, I would say, processes that will help us to execute, or that will help us to think on those lines. Okay, what we can do better. Okay, what are the what are our opinion with respect to current sprint, if there are any particular challenges. So it's basically a brainstorming or negotiation event wherein the entire team comes up and discusses. The next point is quite important. When we say the product backlog needs to be ordered, can anybody tell me what does it mean when we say the product backlog needs to be ordered? Yeah. Ordered means, in your words?
Approved by the
We have to
product owner.
command, but
Signed
we
off
have
by
to give
product
the
owner.
order to the team.
Yeah, one person at one time, please. I couldn't understand.
Signed
Approved
off by
by the
product
product
owner.
owner.
Signed by product owner,
Signed
you're
off.
saying?
Yeah. Formal sign off by the product owner.
Sign off by the product owner. Okay, interesting. What about others?
Prioritizing.
Very well. Yes. Anybody else? Okay. So, when we say order, it is not like any other order that we get to work on something. It basically means the work items or the requirements mentioned in product backlog that has to be kept or mentioned as per the priority, as per the high to low order. That's why it is called as it should be ordered. That means, see, we are working in a very dynamic world. Customer requirements, their preferences can be influenced by market trends or their internal advertising and marketing strategies. So in short, there can be changes in the priority, there can be changes in the preferences, and those changes customer will communicate to us. So as per that, like for example, earlier the customer, now this really had happened with me when I was working as a project manager for an Indian, mutual fund, for an Indian bank, and there for the mutual fund segment, we were working on a website. Okay, so we did that earlier designing and everything, and then suddenly not suddenly, as per their whatever internal process, that bank change their logo color and logo design. Okay, so for banks, it's an important thing that, they should stick to their own logo because it's like their brand or their distinctive factor. Then, because it was an internal change from the bank and approved one, we also had to change our, design, because earlier, per se, if the bank logo was in blue, now they came up with, I would say, red and yellow. Just hypothetically, I'm giving example. Yes. So definitely the customer does change the priority, does come up with their own different preferences. So that is why we need to order, or the product owner needs to keep the product backlog in ordered state, wherein we can take out the highest priority requirements as per the discussion. Yeah. And last point is, here the sprint goal is set or it is discussed, and it is kind of, I would say, broken by product owner. So imagine if our sprint goal is just hypothetically creating a small website. Now I know it's a very big goal, though it looks very simple, but then the product owner will break it out. Yes, in that website we would need login, we would need my dashboard, we would imagining a banking website, then yeah, we would need login authentication, we would need a dashboard, or I would say homepage, where we can see our you know there should be some button or link to showcase our existing balance. Then we can see our transactions, we can see, we can do fund transfer, we can open FDs and RDs. So all this functionality can be done. So this is now, as you see, we just said that we want to create a website, but then our product owner broke it down as per the requirements, giving details. So this is one of the main activity. And by the way, this goal should remain, I would say, relevant throughout the course of the sprint. Relevant means we should not uh, divert from this goal. Whatever we have decided, we have to work on it and we have to complete it. Always remember. Yeah. So now, anybody has any doubt in the first ceremony, that is sprint planning? Yeah. We have gone in detail. Any doubts? Yes. If no, you can say simply no and we can go to next slide. Yeah.
No.
Anyone?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, Gaurav, we can go to the next ceremony, please. Yes. So here we have daily scrum and sprint review both mentioned. So can I request one person to read out the daily scrum and another to read out the sprint review, please?
Daily Scrum, daily stand-up. Provide the Scrum team an opportunity to discuss progress, announce daily commitments, and identify impediments which should be cleared by the Scrum Master. Scrum Master and product team, product owner, and outside stakeholders are optional for attendees. Tips and tricks. Be sure the team can see each other. If you are remote, use a video conferencing tool. Don't let this meeting turn into a verbal status report. Encourage team members to get together after the daily scrum to discuss any items that require additional conversation. Do not let this meeting go longer than 15 minutes.
Thank you so much for reading it out. Now, I personally think we have discussed all the points in the earlier diagram, just brushing through it again. So yeah, important factor, this daily scrum should not be more than 15 minutes, because you're actually standing up. So physically also it will be tiring. And we have to discuss on what we worked on, what are we planning to work on, 8 hours, and any impediments. And also, by the way, it is mentioned that doubts should be cleared by Scrum Master, but then that is not the case. Not only Scrum Master is responsible, even the other team members who are aware about the issue resolution, they can also share their feedback. Okay. Why it is mentioned that it is cleared by Scrum Master is because Scrum Master is the one who kind of hosts or handles this event. That is why it is mentioned. But in the reality, anyone, anyone from the team can help each other out and, share, I would say, inputs if you have any regarding that particular problem. Attendees, generally Scrum Master and the development team are present because it's a daily event. So we don't expect other stakeholders or even product owner, if he or she is located at the same event, same location, same office, same building, then they can be a part of it, but then they are not mandatory as a attendee. So they and other stakeholders can be optional. Definitely tips and tricks we have discussed that in case if you're not in a same or same geographical location, same office, same city and stuff like that, then you can actually use video conferencing, send a Zoom link or Google Meet or whatever your organization uses, and ensure that everybody is available at least even remotely or virtually. This meeting should not be very lengthy. It should not be a detailed status report. So yeah, 15 minutes max. We have to manage this meeting for, and we have to encourage team members to discuss their item and ensure that it is a discussion. Everybody speaks and interacts with each another. That is why we get the solution as well as we have the team in harmony. Yeah, everybody speaks to each other. Any doubt in this, guys? It's a very important yet simple and easy to understand event. Daily Scrum. Anybody has any doubts in it? Please raise.
No.
If
No.
no, you can very well mention no doubts. Yes.
No doubts.
No
No
doubts.
doubts.
No
Thank you
doubt.
so Thank you so much for responding. Yeah, can we go to sprint review, please? Yeah, anyone else, especially the one who has not spoken yet? Please go ahead.
Sprint review. Purpose. Showcase the work completed over the course of the sprint. Gather feedback from stakeholders to inspect and adapt the product. Attendees. The entire Scrum team plus certain managers, stakeholders, customers, and other developers. Tips and tricks. Ensure that any outside stakeholders know where they need to be when. Get the room prepped. The production team should not feel like they are defending their work. Prep to ensure they are able to shine. Capture actionable feedback as items in the backlog.
Yes, thank you so much for reading it out. So in this review meeting, as we had discussed in the earlier diagram, we basically showcase or highlight or present our work to the stakeholders, primarily being the customer, and get their feedback. Okay, now this is an important point. We not only just highlight our work, but we also try to understand what are their take on it. How do they feel about our work? Uh, do they want us to improve on something? Do they want us to add, update something? Do they want us to change some things? Yeah, sorry. So all that thing, all the feedback also we can mention, and then we can work on it later to better our work. Attendees is entire Scrum team, absolutely, because they are the one who are working on the development. Plus some managers which are like directly involved in the project, like it can be delivery managers or senior management team who is involved in this project, or they are stakeholders, other stakeholders, customers, and if third party vendor team is working, then those people, everyone was involved in the project, and and then what are the tips and tricks that we say that stakeholders need to be shared information about where they have to be. So it's like, we have to ensure that proper meeting invites are sent, the date and time, and where it is taking place. And by the way, development team or production team should not feel that they're defending their work. That means and prep to get shine, prepare to ensure that they're shining. So basically, this event uh, should not be a defensive mechanism for team. In case there are some things which are not as per the expectation, that is also fine. That does not mean we have to be in a defensive mode and start explaining and talking in those terms. It's fine. We can always highlight the work that is completed by us as per the expectation or as per the commitment. And then last but not the least, we need to capture the actionable feedback from the meeting. So in case the customer has given some feedback and that needs to be implemented, then please take that feedback and incorporate that and implement in the upcoming sprint. So it in this meeting, it is not only about discussing or only presenting, but yes, along with presentation, we need to also ensure that what are the work items that we need to work upon. Okay. Yeah. Anybody has any doubt?
No,
No.
that's
No,
good.
no.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We can go to next slide, please, Gaurav. Hmm. Can I request someone to read out the text mentioned?
Sprint retrospective. Purpose. Allow the team to inspect itself and plan for improvements in the next sprint. Attendees. Scrum Master and the product team. Product owner is optional but recommended. Tips and tricks. Don't allow people to point fingers and play the blame game. Create a safe space for people to provide their honest feedback. Use games and different questions to mix things up and reduce monotony. Make sure any actionable suggestion is captured, assigned, and tracked.
Thank you so much for reading it out. So what it says is in sprint retrospective, the purpose of this event is we need to understand and inspect ourselves, wherein what all or we did that could have been improved, or that we can work better in the next sprint. So this event is basically for our own self improvement. Always remember this, because as a team, working in sprint, working in scrum, we have to be on our toes. We have to be on I would say on a constant learning spree. Okay. So it's not that we did something and it is delivered and we are done. No, we have to keep brushing up our skills. We have to keep learning new technology, whatever it takes to finish the sprint, that those all skills should be a part of our team. I am not saying it should be only one person, but then everybody related to the team or working on the sprint should keep engaging themselves in improving their skills. Attendees in this meeting, definitely Scrum Master and development team, that is also called as production team, is mandatory, because they are the grassroots level people who have actually worked on this. And a product owner is optional, is not mandatory, but then it is recommended if he or she is present, because they can also share in their views and their guidance, as per their experience. But then as a team, as a development team, we need to be present and we need to give our inputs, our overall, I would say, learning. First and foremost tips and trick herein is we don't allow people to point fingers. Okay, so it's like this should not be a blame game. It should be a safe place. It should be a comfortable, I would say, stage or environment where all the team members discuss about their achievements or discuss about their setbacks or their experience. It should be a comfortable environment where everybody can talk to each other with trust, with bond, and then they can share their feedback. It should be an honest feedback. There should not be any blame game. Okay, that's an important point. Use games and different questions to mix things up and reduce monotony. So this event can become monotonous and can become little, I would say, serious, because you are talking about all the self-improvement, I would say, areas. We are talking about all the, you know, learnings that we had. So it can become little monotonous and boring, but then we need to add some games, like, we can have mind map wherein we can put in ideas, and, we can just continuing mentioning all the related ideas, and we can come up with a solution, or we can have brainstorming session. So basically, make this event interesting, make this event useful, make this event, you know, beneficial for everyone who is attending it, that they have some takeaways from this event. Yes. And next point is make sure any actionable suggestion is captured, assigned, and tracked. Now, this is quite important. So imagine in this case, if somebody is saying that, okay, from a development team member, okay, I need to work on this new technology and I'm planning to learn it. So yes, now that is an action point. Okay. So maybe development team members are planning to learn this skill, so that can go as a, you know, new action item, and that can be assigned to a development team. Whereas testing team says that they want to learn on the automation testing. So for testing team, that point is allocated as, a testing team will work and will be implementing this point. So that should also be, and by the way, it is not only verbal, it should be written. That's what we say. So all the actionable suggestions, feedback, and any changes that we are planning to do, that needs to be captured and tracked and assigned. So who is working on what, and what, and by when they're planning to complete it, or by when they're planning to implement it. All these details are mentioned. Any doubt in this, guys? Yes. Very important, very useful event, sprint retrospective.
No.
Anyone?
No.
No?
No,
Easy
no.
to understand? Super.
Yes.
Yeah. So now let us come to last event, which is not mentioned much, but it's there. So for the, I would say, understanding purpose, let us just go through it. Can someone read out the text mentioned in the box? Yeah.
Fifth is not mentioned everywhere. Done, sprint, or cancelled. Done goes in the sprint done chart to release the product increment from product backlog list.
Yes. So it is basically not a widely discussed, I would say, event. This means done means completed, done and dusted. It's over, and it is it in this basically event. What happens that what are the increment that we had worked on, taken from product backlog item, that is released, that is delivered, that is completed. So it's basically, if you ask me, it's more or less like a check than an event. So, okay, you have taken 10 work items from the product backlog and in the sprint backlog, and you completed. So it's like a checklist kind of activity, right? So, and by the way, it can be even done or cancelled. Cancel happens quite rarely, but what it means is that the sprint itself is cancelled. The sprint is maybe got on hold. That's why we are like kind of canceling it right now. So we are not completing the sprint. So the last or fifth ceremony can be, it can be either done or it can be either cancelled. Okay, that's why, see, it's more or less like a ultimatum, what this sprint is doing, or it is completing or it is not completing or getting cancelled. So that's why it is not widely used. There is not much detail, but just for understanding point of view, not knowing the details point of view, we have highlighted it here. So yes, any doubts in all the ceremonies? We have gone in quite detail with understanding each ceremony well. So yes, anybody having any doubt?
No.
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 No? Good.
No.
Still, I will recommend you to rewatch this video, rewatch this session. So, in case if you have any doubts as of now, you will have clarity once you rewatch it. Yes. So, Gaurav, I wanted to check with you looking at the time. Should we go to the next slide or should we stop here?
Yeah, we can take a pause, Prerna.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for participating and learning. So it's time for a quick attendance. So be ready with your word, and we'll check with you all that what do you feel like saying, whether you were able to relate, connect, and understand it well or not. So let's check with Sweta first. Sweta, you can unmute and speak up. What do you feel like saying? Whether you were able to relate, connect, understand it well or not. Sweta Srivastav. Okay, we'll come back to you. Looks like she is not available. Naga Lakshmi, I believe this is your day one, right? So you can speak
Yes.
up. How was it for you? Were you able to understand it well or not?
Yes, so I had to go through the first two videos by myself, and this was the first live session. It was a lot of information, but I think it was easy because I am a law graduate from India.
Mm-hmm.
I did not get to practice law in the US, but we did own a business, and I was the manager for about 8 years. So I could grasp uh, much of the information.
Great. I'm glad that you could undergo the last two sessions. So these two sessions will be also shared with you as a part of recording, and you can go through them as well because we had yesterday and today also sessions.
Sure.
So this one you attended live, remaining yesterday one will also be provided. Thank you, Naga Lakshmi, for
Thank
sharing
you.
that. So I have just taken a note that you were present here. Let's move further from Saundarya. Saundarya, what do you feel like saying?
It was very engaging session, Gaurav.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Engaging is the word. Yeah. Thank you so much, Saundarya,
Thank
for
you.
letting us know. Yeah. Welcome. So let's hear from Shruti now. Shruti, what do you feel like saying? One word that comes from you.
It was very interesting today.
Interesting is the
Yeah.
word. Thank you so much, Shruti. Let's hear from Amit. Amit, what do you feel like saying? One word from you.
It's an excellent session, Gaurav.
Excellent is the word. Thank you so much.
Session, Gaurav.
Yes, somehow your last two words got broken. I thought, I assume that you are done. So yeah, thank you. Jisha, what do you feel like saying? And thank you for answering actively most of the questions. Yeah, Jisha, over to you.
Hi, thank you so much. This is my first session too. And
Oh,
I've also been needing yesterday's slide and today's slide because I've also just gone through the first two slides as of now.
okay. You got the last two recording and
Yeah,
you
the
went through them.
week one, yeah, day one, day two.
Day one, day two. Okay, yeah. So day three will be provided to you.
All
That
right.
was the studies one, and only this one you attended live. Great. Welcome both of you, Naga Lakshmi and Jisha, to this track. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's hear from Anita as well. Anita, what do you feel like saying? One word that comes from you.
Very detailed session, and I like the way how you guys like keep us interacted with each
Yeah.
other. As
Thank
it's
you.
10 p.m. EST, so you know we can easily fall asleep if you guys don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Anita. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And let's last time try to hear from Sweta if you are available, Sweta. Sweta 1, 2, and 3. I think Sweta is not there. So, guys, thank you so much for showing up. And we are done. We are going to meet again on the next Sunday. And we'll talk to you again soon. And thank you so much. Recordings will be provided to you. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank
Prerna,
you.
could you
Bye-bye.
please stay back? Yeah.